All right, good evening, everybody. WPL is done, IPL has set in, and we are here to record our first episode for IPL 2024, welcoming a regular fanlist and one new face and another person who's returning after a long time. So, welcoming a regular fanlist, Bidhu, Sanskar, and Sandhya, and welcome back to the fold, Rishab. And for his debut on the show today, welcome Aditya. All right, people, let's get started. The first match, CSK versus RCB. Anybody predicted RCB to win? Other than
Why?
something like
Why?
loyalty to loyalty. Yeah, but I mean, thoughts from the match. Dhoni dropped a bombshell. All you diehard CSK fans, can you please identify yourselves on the show?
I know I'm wearing the wrong color, but
I know. I know. All right, Aditya and Sandhya. Did you guys expect Dhoni's bombshell one day before the tournament started?
no. Dhoni, in his usual classic way, had to do it like that, but we didn't expect that he won't captain for this season. There was always the thought that this might be his last, given the big auction coming up next year. Retaining him is going to be hard, but didn't think that he would give up captaincy in the last moment like that. Broke our hearts a little bit. I was looking forward to, seeing him walk out for the toss with the long locks. But okay, good luck to Rutu. He's been doing well. And certainly CSK have handled it much better than what MA have managed to do with their team. So
good.
I think that's
first
classic MS also. I mean, he's one of those few captains who have ensured that he has just not called it quits, but he's also groomed the next leaders, be it with the Indian cricket team, with Virat, or the CSK tried the same bit with Jadeja a couple of years back. It didn't turn out well. And I think he's trying the same with Ruturaj this year. But I think he's one of those captains who have not just ensured from a legacy standpoint, but also grooming the next leader. So just typical MS in that sense.
How many of you believe what Ritu? Do you think what Ritu said was scripted, where he said he was given an indication a year before?
I think a lot of people were.
Go for it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were predicting that he would be one of the captains for the future, but we didn't realize it would be this year. And probably we thought that he would be a bigger star for the Indian cricket team by the time he would be made a captain. But probably the Commonwealth Gold helped move this along. And he was pretty good as a captain, and I was there at the match, and I could see that Dhoni was still setting fields, and it was probably a co-captaincy. But he was talking to the bowlers continuously, and he wasn't going and standing at long on, so that was a good thing to see.
Good observation. Actually, yeah, I mean, I didn't realize Rituraj was the captain when India won the Commonwealth Gold. But yeah, I mean, that's a good point.
Was it the Commonwealth? No, I think it's the Asian Games. Right?
Games, yeah.
The Asian Games Gold, yeah.
One of those which happened during the World Cup, which nobody paid attention to, nobody celebrates. But yeah, okay, we won a gold somewhere. Commonwealth or Asian Games. But okay, reflections on the game, people. Of course, I know CSK fans would have expected it. And all the RCB fans, if any of you listen to P-Dog, we know we have to call our wives Aishwarya. But other than that, and did it follow the script? Any surprises or anything which is really well?
It was just a classic cult of where things ended the last year, or the year before that, or the year before that, or on and on. With RCB messing up big time in terms of when we felt that they are there, they could just turn around the game and win the game. And CSK being CSK, coming around and winning the game like they've always been, right? I mean, so to me, I think I could correlate the current trend that's going on, right? Which is two wickets, pani mein gaye, chepok. I mean, no offense, I understand that Bangalore would understand the adversity of water currently, but pani mein gaye was quite literal there in chepok. So I think it was just a massacre that followed, and it was a good recovery that they did still, but I think for me, RCB just started right where they left off last
man,
year.
I can't stop laughing. Words could kill Sanskar and I would have died right now. But we've got a WPL Cup, so we will survive. But
For us, so my second team is RCB. Maybe the t-shirt I'm wearing is a mix of yellow and red, and that's why it's turned out this color. But for RCB's credit, if you had told they would make 170 odd without Kohli, Faf, Max, nobody contributing, I would have taken it. With Anuj Rawat, the innings he played, Dinesh Karthik coming back to some semblance of form, coming out from the commentary to the field, and we thought the spinners would rule the roost, though Mustafizur was bowling spin off a long run up, but that I don't think that's a spell he would repeat again. Or with Dhoni being there, you never know. He made Tushar Deshpande almost a purple cap winner.
Yes.
I don't think even his uncle or mom would have predicted that Tushar Deshpande would be gunning for the purple cap. But yeah, so that way is, I think, some positives for RCB. And next game, if Kohli, Faf, Max come to the party with Rawat and DK continuing the form, we'll see how they chase today as we record this. Should be good. Should be a good season for RCB that ways.
But good save, Aditya. Thanks.
Yeah. I think that comment is also right where we left off last year. A lot of positives for RCB from a game, and hopefully this will be a big year. I mean, nostalgia is kicking in.
Winning hearts.
Yeah, winning cups. Come on, WPL Cup still counts.
Yeah.
But come on, Sanskar, please save the day for RCB fans.
I think much of what I was about to cover up has been covered by Aditya. I would definitely take the lower order contributing as a huge positive. Something that has been an Achilles, one among many Achilles heels for RCB over the years. A top order collective failure is a rare thing in RCB's favor, in RCB's legacy, so to speak. Having said that, another underrated positive I would touch upon would be Cameron Green striking with two wickets in the middle overs. One aspect where RCB lagged a lot last year with Hasaranga not performing, with Harshal Patel not performing. So I see a little bit of promise in RCB, and even as we speak, the first innings just got concluded. They did hold the game pretty well, 48 and 5. Last 5 overs, I would take it, barring the last over from Malgari Joseph. So far, yes, the result didn't go in our favor, but I wouldn't be completely pessimistic as far as RCB's prospects to do better than last year is concerned. I say do better than last year because we didn't make it to playoffs. The least you could do is qualify for playoffs. Then we can talk about those four magic words, which I'd rather not repeat. We were on overdose of that for the last 2 weeks, having women's team on that. So, yep,
As long
that's how I would
as
sum up RCB.
sorry, as long as you're not P-Dog, we don't have the authority to diss on RCB as badly as P-Dog does. But he has the authority because he did work with RCB for a long time. So he speaks from the heart. All right, let's go to the next match.
Just
DC was,
I would
sorry.
also add Yash Dayal to the list of positives for the game. He's been good. After being taken out for 31 runs by Rinku. Last game he bowled well. This game also at the death he gave away, I think, 21 runs of 4 overs. So yeah, hope is eternal with RCB. So let it bloom.
Quickly moving to DC versus was it PBKS? Did they play DC versus PBKS?
Yep.
Happy to see Pant back in action, or do you guys still think he's not where he needs to be?
I think he did not keep, although NC has declared him fully fit to even keep the wicket,
He did
but
keep
still as a safety precaution.
he did keep in the first game. He even got stumping in though.
Yeah, that was my point. I didn't want
Oh,
to.
did he? Okay.
Yeah, I would just give him probably first 5 or 7 games just to settle in because he's playing after a long gap of almost 14 to 16 months, if my
Last
memory serves me right.
2023 New Year, around that time.
Yep.
But dude,
So
he
14
has
months.
to keep, otherwise this is his only way to showcase to be a part of the T20 World Cup, right? I mean, otherwise KL Rahul is always available to keep and to play in the middle order. I mean, not that Rishabh Pant may not get picked, but he wants to ensure that his chances are high.
But again, among the two, I would always trust Rishabh as a more potent keeper. Like, not saying to take away from KL, he's been an improved keeper from where he started off to where he is now. But I think wicketkeeper role is more or
Rishabh?
less always designated towards Rishabh. So yeah, like I would still play it safe and maybe not stress too much on my knees for the next 5 to 7 games. Maybe midway between the tournament, he can do. He is entitled to do that. He's a captain after all. But really, really happy. Even for those 18 runs, he did seem promising with his intent. So positive signs, even for Delhi captains, even for Indian
Good to
team.
see Pant back. So what are the key takeaways from that match? Any key performances you guys want to talk about?
At least,
Anything
at least one of the players who's being paid a heavy amount has paid off at least in the first week. And I'm not talking about Mitchell Stark or Pat Cummins. It was Sam Curran, who saved the day for Punjab. Given the awful year that he had last year, and the faith that was showed by the Punjab team, but the Punjab management, I think that did work, and I think that's the number that he would want to stick to. And keep contributing as much as he can as a multi-dimensional player. So I think that was one of the key highlights that Punjab was banking on. It was also a new stadium that they were playing in, so trying to getting used to of the situations, how the pitch would turn around. So I think on and on, it was a good match for Punjab to start off their campaign. But I think it's still got a long way to go for Punjab to dominate a tournament like this over the next 10, 14, 12 games as such.
Sam Curran got paid what, 16 crores? So he earned 1 crore by playing well in that match. Roughly. And
18.5.
yeah, and did Harshal Patel bowl well?
No, the last over. He did start off well though. First 3 overs, I think he was 2 for 20 odd, which was quite decent. And he did pick important wickets, but the last over, and that young lad coming to another positive of that game, Abhishek Patel, some really amazing hitting. Of course, there were some loose deliveries, but you still need to tonk them to get your team to a very competitive total, and I think he did his job really well.
So question for you guys. How many of you predict Harshal Patel to be the purple cap winner this time? Me. Anybody who goes out of RCB
I'll ask the same
does
question.
really well.
Why?
Because RCB is the training ground. Anybody who goes out of RCB does really well. So I won't be surprised.
I slightly disagree. I think RCB has a unique trait of picking up bowlers who are not doing well, then grooming them over the next few years, that they become well, and just when you feel that they can win you the tournament next year, they let them go. Be it with UZ Chahal, be it with the Triple H that we saw with Harshal, Hasaranga.
That was my point.
Just when RCB realizes they've finally made individuals good bowlers, they let them go. So I think it's not about you move out of RCB, you'll do well. I think the training there gets you to become well.
Pretty much
of
like
RCB.
yeah, man. RCB should rebrand themselves and call them.
HH were already good bowlers when they went to RCB. At least Hazelwood was already a winner with CSK when he went to RCB. So, I think he really didn't cope that well on Chinnaswamy's grounds. I think Chinnaswamy's grounds are just not suited for all bowlers.
Yeah, I think there's somebody who made this joke, right? I mean, in Chinnaswamy, you just do the toss and then whoever wins the toss wins the game, right? I mean, there's no point bowling there. But today they've restricted them to 174. Let's see. All right, Bidhu's been quiet. Let's move to the next match. What are the next match? It was Sunrisers versus KKR. Right, Bidhu, what was your pick from that match?
I think the crucial pick was the death over batting. So the point from where SRH lost was something which not many fans were thinking about. I think obviously they came really close, and the rule changes have actually worked against Sunrisers. So when you have the capability to bowl two bouncers, the bowling team is always on the advantage. And when the batsman gets out caught, the new batter comes in. So both these factors played into it. So when Abdul Samad got out, the new batter was on strike. When Klaasen got out, the new batter was on strike. And that actually derailed the chase completely for them. And Henrik Klaasen, I think one of the fantastic innings of IPL, could not close it. But I think SRH would really be feeling bad because they should have won the game. 13 runs of the last over, I think 7 or 6 of the last 5, and they still could not close the game. A new bowler restricted them, so I think that would give a lot of confidence to KKR. Usually, the bowling lineup of KKR does not give much confidence on a flat take. They are mostly spin heavy, looking for grounds where the spinners come into the picture. But let's see how Harshit Rana bowls in the next subsequent games, because he did hold his nerves in the last over.
I think when
Yes.
the entire world is talking about the brilliant move that has been made this year in terms of allowing 2 bouncers in an over, I think the only person who's sort of against, because, I mean, even if 99% of the people believe in something, I think Shreyas Iyer is the only one who's sort of in the disbelief with 2 bounces allowed in an over. But what sort of stood out for me in the entire game is that the overwhelming power of the Midas touch of SRH losing crucial games is still there, and it sort of overpowered the Midas touch of Pat Cummins as an individual. Because I mean, this is over the last 2 years what we've seen Pat Cummins deliver on and on again, despite the format, despite the series, despite the tournament. It was just refreshing to see that the Midas touch of SRH as a group of losing last-minute crucial games, closer games rather, overpowered the Midas touch of Pat Cummins. So I think that's a refreshing start as a cricket fan.
Yes, who Pat Cummins is calling after that match? Both of you are still wondering. I'm sure Pat and Hardik would have had a conversation, but why, we will come to it. So let's move on to the next game. What was the game after that? After the SRH game and before the Mumbai game?
Rajasthan and
RR.
Lucknow.
Yes.
SG versus RR.
Halla bol, nalla bol. So we have two hardcore RR fans, Rishab and Bidhu. Right, Bidhu, you're RR, right? Or are you DC?
No, I am RR right now.
Okay, good. Then you guys take it away. Positives?
I think obviously Rishabh can go next. The thing with RR is they start off well. Sanju Samson has been scoring 50s in every IPL season since 2019. They do well in Sabai Mansingh Stadium. So winning that game was not a surprise for us, but a slow confidence that this time also the players seem to be in form. Last time Josh Butler was completely off form. I don't think he will have a second season like that. So we expect the top order to do well. Yashasvi Jaiswal and Dhruv Jurel have actually gotten their Indian cap, so we expect a lot from them. But mostly the story of RR unfolds in the last 3 to 4 games. If they do well, they reach the playoffs. If they don't do well, the campaign totally drifts off. But in the initial part, they are always in the top 4. And so at least I'm not very excited. I'm just happy that they won. Let's see how many more games we can win up front.
Come on, celebrate little joys. Well, Rishabh.
Spoken like a true RCB fan. But I think Bidhu rightly called out, right, that starting off strong has never really been a concern for Rajasthan. It's just been making sure that they hold on to the nerves as they go closer to the end of the tournament, right? But I think this year there's a lot to lose for players from Rajasthan because a lot of them are in sort of auditioning for the Indian World Cup. Be it Samson, be it Jurel, be it Yuzi Chahal for that matter, Yashasvi Jaiswal is already there in the mix. So I think this year I somehow feel that they have a lot. The intensity will be a lot higher because they have a lot to lose, and I'm honestly hoping for them to make it to playoffs. And I feel that they are one of the strong teams this year, at least the playing 11. One thing that really surprised me was the way they started off as their playing 11 in the game with just 3 overseas. I think that was a brilliant move because then it gives them the option of bringing Roman Powell if there's a collapse. But if the top order clicks, then they always have the option of going to Andre, right? So I think it was a very good move. No one probably saw it coming with just starting off with 3 overseas. But I think there's a lot to wait in terms of how the overall team would unfold over the next 10, 12 games.
I mean, how many teams can boast of winning a game with Nicholas Puran still being there, right? I mean, that to me was probably the strength of RR bowling. Because I mean, Nicholas Puran is still not out in the end. 61 or what, 40 odd balls?
I think it has not got a lot to do with the charisma and the power that Nicholas Puran has, but a lot of impact and influence that KL Rahul brings in as a team. Because he has had the habit, or rather the unfortune of missing out or losing out some really close games. So I think his luck factor did not really pay off once again. And while there were all the talks that KL Rahul would not open, would be auditioning for the number 4 as a middle order wicketkeeper option. Although he didn't, wait, or he didn't come in the middle order. I think the team at least provided him with the input of a collapse, and he was already there as a when the Lucknow team had a collapse, right? So I think Lucknow is one of those teams who just need to figure out how they would approach from a playing 11, because I think on papers Lucknow is again one of those really strong teams this year with the kind of batting and bowling depth that they have. I think they just sort of somehow got stuck even in the first game, and I think slightly RR got lucky because there was a chance where Lucknow could have scored and could have won the game. But I think LSG just sort of confused their approach to the overall game, which is what has been happening in the playoffs in the last year and the last year as well. So I think LSG is one of those teams that I'm believing that they would make it to playoffs along with RR. It's just that they need to sort of figure out who's going to do what exactly in that team, because they're a team which has a problem of plenty, I feel.
Where is Kyle Mayers this time? Has he pulled out, or is he still there but he didn't get selected in the playing 11? I was surprised not to see Kyle Mayers in their playing 11.
Like I said, it's a problem of plenty. They're still figuring it out.
Got it.
And that's where it's still sort of stuck. Because I was really hoping David Particle to open the innings. He could finally get that chance as an opener that he has done for RCB for many years. But let's see how things turn out.
And also, I think we need to give a shout out to Sandeep Sharma. I think a lot of one of these unsung Indian bowlers. I remember last year he defended that 4 runs of the last ball against MSD, and everyone celebrated. I think he was really good in this match too.
Yeah, that's another, yeah. He's delivering as expected, or at least more than people expected. All right, moving to the game of the weekend, GT versus MI. Surprised any or were you expecting that the protege who moved back to the team which groomed him wasn't as good as people expected him to be?
I think Bumrah had won them the game with the spell he bowled. 4 overs, 3 for 14. Every time they got a 10-run over, Bumrah came in, took a wicket, and he had pretty much killed the game. 5 overs, 40 to get, 40 odd to get with 7 wickets in hand is a canter any day. And from there, what they managed to do and how they contrived to lose it is, yeah.
You know what surprised me? Umi Anna getting a wicket and winning them the game in the last over, right? I don't think that's ever happened in the history of IPL. But
Hey, I'm not surprised. You can defend 26 against MS Dhoni. Come on, you can do anything.
When did Umesh Yadav ever do well in RCB? Ever?
He won
did well in
the game that he
2018.
was mentioned. He won you the game defending against MS.
One run.
He won the game by a run.
And he did well in 2018. He was the highest wicket taker in the power play segment of that entire tournament.
Power play is good.
I stand corrected. He won his one game. Okay, but okay, all right.
But somehow I think that's been the trend with Gujarat Titans over the last 2 years, at least for me, right? Before they start off the last 2 tournaments, I would always look at as to how this team is gonna work around and play and move forward. But I think they have been the most consistent team in the last 2 years, making to finals both year. The thing somehow is that they also, from on paper, they would look like there's no proper order, but I think that's what has been working. And I think one fundamental thing that has been a major differentiator, which earlier people assumed it was Hardik's captaincy, but I know it's too early at this point in time also, but I think there's due credit that needs to be given to Ashish Nehra as well in terms of the work that he has been done. I mean, on a side note, I'm just disappointed that Country Delight has not reached out to him as a brand ambassador for Nariyal Pani because of the charisma that he carries. But I think the way that individual, the way that gentleman has just gotten different people together with different skill sets and ensuring that that's one team that just holds on the nerve and consistently wins you close games speaks volumes about the mindset of individuals that are there. And these are individuals who may not have gotten a lot of chances at international level, right? Or are still trying to make it, be it, Rahul Tewatia, for example, right? The cameo that he played. Yes, we always know Rashid Khan and Gill and all of these folks would come to party. But I think a lot has been done with the temperament and mindset of these individuals in terms of ensuring that they take the game close and then eventually win it from there. So I think Gujarat Titans has just again started off the year right where they left off last year or the last year or the year before that in terms of making sure that they might not be a very strong team on paper, but when it comes to P-Day, when it comes to any game or playing a situation, I think they're just trying to consistently deliver every game.
Somebody said that their whole is greater than the sum of individuals, right? Or the whole is greater than the sum of parts. Go ahead, Bidhu.
Yeah, so actually I was more interested to see how GT turns up than Mumbai Indians. Look, Mumbai Indians are having this trouble, but on paper, Mumbai Indians have actually a very strong team this year as compared to Mumbai Indians of 2020 to 22, because they have purchased some good players and most of the Indian players are back. Surya Kumar Yadav will be back in a couple of games, so the batting is very strong and they individually are champion players. So these captaincy issues and all the talks now is happening outside, I'm not sure will actually bother their cricketing skills. And obviously, they lose the first match, so it's not a big issue for them. For Gujarat Titans, as Rishab mentioned, they are not a team of champion players. Last 2 years, they have been winning because they have been doing, everybody is giving their 120%, and the management staff, be it the captain, the coach, I feel are bringing the best out of them. Someone like a David Miller, Rahul Tewatia, they were with other IPL teams, but they did not win matches consistently. But with Gujarat Titans, they have been strong finishers. Subman Gill was let go of KKR because he was not a T20 batter. Now he is a champion batter for the Gujarat Titans. You see Sai Kishore, you see Sudarshan, not big names, but and that's why I feel Subman Gill had to be tested a lot because it's a bowling side. They do well when the scores are around 160, 180. If you score 200 against them, they will fall short because they do not have the talent to go that distance. So Subman Gill's captaincy will lot depend upon how he rotates the bowlers and where his field placements are. So I think he started off well. How long he can continue is going to define Gujarat Titans season this year.
Sai Kishore, I think, was an inspired pick based on the stellar Ranji he had this year, right? I would love to see him do well. Okay.
But
Any
just one thing, amidst all of the things that followed, right? I think it was just I do not really have the right bit to call out in terms of what really happened with Hardik Pandya throughout the course of the game, right when he entered for toss. I'm not sure if I should feel sorry or kind of call out that it was what was coming for him, the way things had unfolded over the last couple of months for him. But I think someone had rightly called out in the commentary, right? It is very unique that you see an India player who has done so well or was done relatively well at an international level for India, getting booed at a home ground of a state that he's eventually from, right? So
I didn't realize he got booed. He got booed in the stadium.
Not just booed. I think it was done consistently when he went for toss. Every time that the ball was going for him towards him. Speaks a lot about how people in India, and I mean, I'm sort of volunteering myself as well, how closely people associate cricket to from emotions. And I think loyalty is something that people hold very close to. And I think that's what came out very aggressively in the way people were depicting their emotions, because here is one individual who has won Gujarat Titans, the champions. They were the champions in the first year. They were in the finals the next year as well. But that speaks volumes about how people associate and hold loyalty over anything else in this game. And I think that's why, jokes aside, I think RCB fans have been consistently doing that for the team for Virat because, and even CSK for that matter, for Chen, for Dhoni, with regards to the loyalty factor that they bring in, right? So I think Indians, individuals hold loyalty a lot more closer, cricket a lot more closer than we all had anticipated or assumed.
Yeah, fair point. Sanskar, you were going to say something.
I was just gonna highlight that if you thought RCB just had the legacy of giving out good bowlers post their tenure is done with RCB, you are wrong. It doesn't just limit to bowlers, it proceeds even further to coaches as well. Ashish Nehra being the coach of RCB in 2019 couldn't do a lot unfortunately that season. And come 2022, you have a trophy in your hand. Come 2023, you were almost champions. This year also, his Naril Pani supremacy seems to give a positive intent. So I think credits to RCB for providing such a good coach as well.
Just taking the coconut, just taking the coconut joke ahead. I mean, you expect coconut on south to be more tastier, more healthier than coconuts from northern part of India or western part of India, right? But that also didn't seem to work.
They just call RCB the Infosys of cricket, where they groom good people and then they send them out. But okay,
But
on
they
that
don't put
joke.
in 70 hours, do they?
Sorry?
They don't put in 70 hours, do they?
Alrighty, let's go to
One more
prediction.
point, just one
Yes.
more point on that match. I think someone had highlighted again in the commentary box that we had seen in that stadium Rohit Sharma scoring a quick fire 40, getting out to a spinner, and then the team losing. So it was pretty much a repeat of that match, that scenario.
Yeah. All right, people. Last section of our show. Predictions for the rest of the week. Tomorrow, CSK versus GT. Who's betting on GT? I know who's betting on CSK. But who's betting on GT?
I'm always going to be betting on CSK. Though I don't want to jinx them, so I don't want to say too much either.
But this match is happening in Chennai.
Yes.
So, yeah, but CSK should be
That
obvious, but for those of you who want, I'm
The
betting on
only,
GT.
my only thing is that they've got a lot of Tamil Nadu players who are actually in good form. Sai Kishore, Sai Sudarshan, playing on their home turf. So that's the only thing which may actually go against us.
we forgot the
CSK has
biggest one,
Tala.
Lord Vijay Shankar.
3D.
Really.
Yeah, ultimately we believe in the power of Tala. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. All right. The next match on Wednesday is SRH versus MI in Hyderabad. How many betting on SRH winning or MI winning? Who are you
SRH.
betting for? SRH.
SRH. Yep.
Okay.
I think
Anybody for
MI
MI?
will win that game.
Right.
Okay, that's 1-1.
MI.
MI. 2-1 to MI. Bidhu, Aditya, you guys
I'm
want to be
going
on
to
the
go
fence?
SRH.
Yeah, where is the match happening again? Is it in
Yeah.
Mysore? Sorry.
Hyderabad.
I think
Hyderabad.
SRH will win.
I just want SRH to win just for Henrik Klaasen, man. Again, ex-RCB, but I think he's in the form of his life. Just for that. Alrighty. Next match on Thursday. Jaipur, RR versus DC. I know what the panel is going to call, but I just want to
Rajasthan
see.
all the way. It's the support it's the fandom that's calling out more than the logic. But I think RR has a better strength. So
It's the fortress.
I love RR, but I want DC to win.
Yeah. My head says RR, but my heart wants
But
DC to
who?
win. Just for fun, you know.
Just for punt, huh? Okay. The next match on Friday, Bengaluru RCB versus KKR. Everybody knows where Sanskar and I will call. But any of you want to call KKR?
Yeah, a very dangerous batting lineup. They bat deep and they have big hitters, small ground. So if they're going and if they bat first, RCB is going to have tall
I'm just
chase.
And I
looking
don't
for
want to
I'm just
replace
looking for
Vijay.
cricketing. I'm just looking for actions beyond cricket in a game of Kolkata and Bangalore. And that will be the highlight that I'm
Oh
absolutely
yeah,
looking forward to.
DC is
I'm looking forward to
back
Rana
in
versus.
KKR. Yeah.
I'm just looking forward to non-cricketing action.
This has
Yeah.
been one of my teenage desires. I want to see
I-
KKR get bundled out for below 49
No,
instead of
48. Just one.
Okay, man, Sanskar, if that happens, right? If that happens, I'm calling it on record. I will buy you a beer or good lunch, okay? If they get bundled out for under 49. But go ahead, Vinay, you were going to say something.
When I was thinking what Sandhya was mentioning,
Somebody might want to come out of
prefer
it.
Rana and someone else when there is a Kohli and Gambhir duel likely to happen. But I'd love to know what exactly is the matchup that you are looking after. Nitish Rana and whom?
I'm looking forward to Harshit Rana versus Kohli.
Oh, Harshit Rana versus Kohli.
Okay.
Interesting.
Kohli. Who can give a better send off?
Hmm. Okay, Saturday doubleheader. LSG versus PBKS in Lucknow. Anybody calling?
Punjab.
I am calling out for Punjab.
Okay.
As a ground and as a team, I think Lucknow hasn't, at least in the last season, they weren't really able to find what's their combination strategy at their home ground. I think that sort of haunted them throughout the tournament. So I think Punjab, with the kind of experience that they have on playing with individuals playing on different tricks and surfaces, I think Punjab all the way.
I think I LSG. If De Kock can find some form, or they bring in Kyle Mayers, KL Rahul is going to give you the 50-60, albeit at 140 strike rate. But I think LSG have the team to pull it off.
Okay. Let's
Yeah,
see.
has won three in a row for a long time.
Hmm.
Even today, that is. Let's see.
If they win today. Okay.
I think the other thing about Punjab is whenever teams have a lot of English players, the opposition team actually, if they have spinners, they can easily win against them. But LSG do not have spinners beyond Ravi Bishnoi. Krunal Pandya has been off form for a couple of IPL season. So I think this time Punjab might overpower LSG.
Okay. Sunday doubleheader. Ahmedabad GT versus SRH. Anybody calling SRH on this?
That'll be a close one, I think.
Sorry?
But I think GT. I think that will be a close game. There will be a lot of good matchups that I foresee with the kind of teams that they have and the ground that Ahmedabad offers. But I feel that this year Ahmedabad would continue to be the fortress for GT. So I'm calling that GT would overpower SRH.
Okay.
I'll pick SRH again, but if GT manages to overpower SRH in this particular encounter, I will once again reinvest my faith in GT. Because I genuinely thought after Pandya's absence, I wasn't quite sure how are they going to perform this year. But if they manage to pull off this game against SRH, I have my reasons to believe that GT will do well this year as well.
And I get that Orange Army has always had a good hold in Gujarat. But when it comes to the game of cricket, I don't think Orange Army would have a chance against the Gujarat.
Are they orange now or are they called Safari Army now? I mean, their uniform is like a safari now. In
I think
Pakistan,
looking up one.
safari?
I think all the jersey changes we can vote for which is the worst change the current year.
SRH?
I think it's just inspired from what is happening overall in the country, right? Where we are eventually first we were looking at the names of cities being changed to a smaller edition at IPL with the jerseys colors being changed. So I think there's some sort of correlation and directly relevance with what's happening from a city name change to jerseys name change. But I think this year sort of lost its touch with a lot of teams changing and opting to change their jerseys because of the rules change that happened, right? So there's a rule that was flouted in that you cannot have certain colors in your jerseys because it may hinder when you're bowling or a fielder is fielding, right? But it sort of took away the essence of what a royal gold and red color RCB jersey would look like or any other jersey. So I think this year the jerseys have changed and it has taken away some sort of belongingness that I would at least associate a couple of years back with many teams.
Right. Okay. Last game. Visakhapatnam, DC versus CSK.
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 CSK? Nobody calling DC?
DC is going to get the wooden spoon this year.
Yeah.
Like, good.
Do they even have any foreign bowlers, DC?
Do they have any what?
Do they have any foreign bowlers? I think I think
strongest-
all
But I
the
don't
bowlers they have are Indian bowlers.
fully fit. No, Enric Nocky is there with DC, but he is not fully fit.
The strongest one has always been injured. So
injury though.
I
And
think he's
but
back from an injury, but we don't know if he's match fit. But we will find out.
Ishant got injured last game,
Yeah.
so DC have the problems to fix.
Mhm.
But he's not ruled out, right? He might.
No news after that.
Yeah. Alrighty, I think we've and that is the match on 31st, first being Fool's Day. We'll see if our predictions make fools out of us or fakirs or fans. But that's been a great show, everybody. We've covered what happened this week. We've predicted. Let's at least hope 50% of our predictions come true so that we can start making money on Dream 11 sponsor plugin. And with that, let's end the show today. Thanks, everybody.
Rian, take care.
Bye.